This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, can everyone hear me? All right, awesome. I just wanted to thank you all for joining and give a little bit of background before I jump into everything. So today I was going to go through some of I have a landscaping company. I use all of our automations for my landscaping company, and I thought the best way to let everyone understand exactly the value of these things is to show you them running in my account. The first thing I wanted to do, though, is give just a little bit of background of what we have going on here. Ready Business Systems, we're a certified advisor with Service Autopilot, and we started doing this beginning of 2019. And ever since then, we've been working hard to get people set up in Service Autopilot, building custom automations, helping people get the best use out of their Service Autopilot account, because it's not necessarily the easiest to learn software. So to jump in, I'll show you some of these automations we got going. I'm going to start with the website. I'm going to walk you through these automations, and then I'm going to show you them actually running in our account. And obviously, you can use this to build your own, to come up with your own ideas. If you're interested in using our automations, we have them in the marketplace that you can download, and we can help you install them so you can worry about running your business. So the first one we have here, they're not all on the marketplace that I have running my landscaping company, so I'll mention that when we go through. The other thing is, because I'm running through my clients' accounts, I might have to pause here and there to kind of blur out some information, so I can try to keep information as confidential as possible. Obviously, I can't be revealing my clients' cell phone numbers and things like that, so I'm going to try to blur out as much as I can. So scrolling down here, so the first one we have here is our RBSO1, which is the estimate follow-up with prospecting. So this will follow up with your clients' voicemail bombs. If you're not sure about that, I'll brush over that through SendJim. You'll also send emails and text messages. So once you send your quote, it'll keep following up with your client or lead until they give you a yes or no. It very persistently follows them. Very valuable. There's a lot of similar stuff like this on the marketplace. The difference with ours is it has this prospecting. So if people say, if they're not ready to book now, it will follow up with them in 10 days or 30 days or next spring. So it's just a nice little feature. Down here, this customer service automation, this will get you good reviews. And again, we can install these in your account and they just start running, and you don't have to worry about them. We'll monitor them, make sure they're all running as they should. But it's going to email a survey weekly and at the end of each season, asking clients if they're happy. If they are happy, it's going to send them links to write a review on your Google page, your Yelp page, your Facebook page, and it's going to offer them a gift card if they do that. If they give a bad review, it's going to immediately text them apologizing, create a task for your manager to follow up with them. And if you want, you can connect with SendJim. We'll mail them a card and a a card and a gift like gummy bears to apologize for the work. So very powerful stuff. Down here, office automation. This one's a big one as well. So this one, and you'll see these all at work as I jump into the account. But as leads come into the system, it's going to follow up with them. We have what we call a 5-day sales process. So as soon as a lead comes in, it lets the person know we're going to get you a quote in 5 days. It'll keep emailing them sales emails, telling them why they should hire us, what they should look for in a landscaper, lead nurturing, and then it will continue to until the estimate is sent. So it'll also remind the manager, and we'll go through that. Whoever the salesperson is in charge of sending these quotes is going to keep reminding them to send the quote that it's due tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll see that one at work as well. It also handles all the collections. So a lot of in the Service Autopilot community, a lot of people push this auto pay on credit card, and we do that. It's very powerful. Collections is always an issue, and by having credit cards, it's a little expensive. But if you combine it with automations and make it really easier for people to pay, it really takes away a lot of your stress from making sure you're getting your money and making sure you have money for payroll each week. So we charge credit cards each and every week, and we know we have the money for payroll the following week. So this will, if the credit card expires, if you do have check payers, that's worked in as well. So if people aren't paying on time, it's going to keep harassing them. Not the best use of words there, but it's going to keep following up with them, making sure they're paying their bills, and keeping you in the loop with information, letting you know the status of that as it goes. This also integrates with SendJam with the voicemail bombs for collections if you'd like. It also will send a new lead letter, welcoming clients, thank you cards, that sort of thing. It also has routine tasks for whoever handles your administrative tasks within your company, and it will make sure that on Mondays it'll tell them what they need to do and create checklists to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do each and every day. Moving forward, our marketing automation. This one goes throughout the season. So we have 6 different marketing themes throughout the year. So it will send out marketing emails regarding certain services. For example, right now we're doing spring cleanups. The next one's mowing. So everything is focused around this one promotional theme 6 times per year. So it will send out postcards. It will send out emails. It will market in every way possible, voicemail bombs, trying to promote that service. It will also create tasks for your office administrator, again, to do things that Service Autopilot doesn't do, such as posting ads on Craigslist, calling customers, and that sort of thing. So moving on, another thing it does is, if you guys have heard of these 5 or 9 rounds, as soon as work is completed during that time of the year, so during spring cleanups, we have a custom-made spring cleanup postcard. So during that time of the year, as soon as someone completes a spring cleanup at a certain property, it's going to automatically promote that spring cleanup to all their neighbors. So, and again, when we complete the mowing service, it's going to promote to all the neighbors. So very powerful automated marketing. I've used all sorts of different direct mail campaigns, and I love this because it's automated and it's hands-off and it's effective and very targeted. So better than EDDM, anything like that. This has been very effective. We also in here, we include new homeowners and realtors, so we make sure that we're also building that list of new homeowners, because we found that they convert best, and we're always mailing them, and throughout the season promoting, again, our spring cleanup, mowing, mulch, that sort of thing. Moving on, this recruiting automation. This one is for recruiting to your applicants. So if you're not currently recruiting, constantly marketing for employees as much as you are for customers, you're going to run into a problem. You're going to have too much work. You're going to be hiring any Joe Schmo to do the job. He's not going to do it right. You're going to end up losing your customers. So you need to be always marketing to your customers as aggressively, to find employees as aggressively as you are to find your clients. So to keep this in line, this recruiting automation will make sure that all your leads that come in the system, which I'll show you as we continue on, that they're always being marketed to. So throughout the season, they're going to be marketed to by emails and these postcards and voicemail bombs, making sure that we're always at the top of their mind. So if they're not happy with their job, they're going to get an email coming in letting them know, hey, we're hiring, we have a bonus. And these are strategically set during times of the year that we know historically that we need help. So that's what this recruiting automation is about. Again, very powerful. You turn it on and your phone's just going to start ringing with people that are looking for work. This hiring termination automation, this one goes with the recruiting. So basically all your applicants come in through this hiring termination. They're going to be in your system, and they're going to use that leads list that you built to recruit to those people. So this hiring termination is going to make sure that your hiring procedures followed, creating tasks as they're supposed to happen. It also, I've modified this a bit, so it's really forcing your procedure to happen. It's hard to block it from happening. So, for example, when people fill out a job application, if they fill out the questions appropriate and they're not automatically disqualified based on their answers, like if they say, no, I can't lift 50 pounds, they're going to be disqualified, because obviously you need to be able to lift 50 pounds, they're going to be a landscaper. So if they're qualified through the job application, what it's going to do is it's going to automatically text and email them telling them to call in for a phone interview Tuesday or Thursday, which is a way to screen out these applicants a second time. So if they don't call, they're screened out. If they do call, the office administrator or whoever is picking up your phone is going to process that phone interview. Otherwise, they're not doing their job. So it's not something they have to actively do and pursue. They're just going to have to pick up the phone. If someone calls them for a job interview, they just have to fill out the phone interview form. Once that phone interview form is filled out, if they're not disqualified based on the answers to the phone interview form, then it's going to push them to the next step, which is coming in for an in-person interview. So I've manipulated this. My manager would always say we need people. I always tell them, listen, we need people. You need to always be hiring, because you're not going to keep these guys. You're going to lose them. So what it does is if she fills out the job interview form and they qualify, it's going to automatically tell that person to come in for an in-person interview on Friday at 5 p.m. and be at the garage. And at the garage, it has a cell phone number of my manager. So it really forces these things to happen and forces the processes to happen the way that you want them to happen. So that's what this hiring termination automation is. These ones I do not have on the marketplace yet, but I may have some. You may see some of them running in my company as I go through these. So I'll just briefly brush on these. These shutdown winners, startup automation. If you guys have a seasonal business, this will make sure that certain tasks happen as they should, making sure you don't forget anything. It's really just a checklist of items for each employee to make sure things happen the way they're supposed to. Manager automation. This is again for the manager, making sure that they're doing what they need to do throughout the year, things they need to look out for. A lot of these, are to-dos as well. Employee automation. This is really a culture automation. It's also make sure employees let you know if they're coming back to work or not. It has like layoff instructions. It plans company events, so it just tells them again, it's not a choice whether or not this company event's going to happen, because it's just going to shoot out emails and text messages letting them know that the third Friday this month we're playing paintball. So, and this goes to the manager as well. So it really forces things to happen. Dispatch automation. This is simply just, hey, we're coming out to your job this morning to do your mulch. Stuff like that, letting them know exactly what's happening. Completed work, this is like care instructions, so any services that involve seeding or fertilizing, anything like that, it's going to send care instructions, letting them know what they need to do, following up on the work. Equipment automation, this is built for your equipment in the garage. Again, this is mostly just a series of to-dos during certain times of the year based on different types of equipment. So we have tags for different types of equipment in our system, and as we tag that equipment, there's going to be different procedures that need to be followed throughout the year to make sure they're happening. Client win-back, this is for inactive clients only. It's a marketing campaign specific for inactive clients. And training automation, this has tasks for training throughout the year. So again, these aren't finalized. I have some of these running within 855 RI Lawns. These ones are currently on the marketplace. As you can imagine, it's a lot of work to get these launched up. So down the road, we will be putting the rest of these up, but I want to make sure I finalize them within my company before I release them on the marketplace. So I'm going to jump into everything. Again, I might have to take a couple little breaks just to kind of black things out, because I don't want to reveal anything that I shouldn't be for private clients' information. So I'm going to start here because it's not that private, because this is my personal account. So I have a handful of properties that my landscaping company manages, and a good way to show you this stuff working is to go through the timeline. So this is the timeline in Service Autopilot. This is my property that my landscaping company maintains for me. So I am a client, so I'm going to get some of these emails that are going out. So to start out, this mulch email that went out in this timeline, you can see it was opened here. It's promoting the mulch service. And something really cool about this is right here, this click here. So if you guys aren't using these custom links within Service Autopilot, they're really cool because you can use them in emails everywhere and you can trigger tags. So essentially, this is going to blast out an email to all of our clients, leads, and active clients. And when they click on this, it's going to apply a tag that a quote is requested on mulch. Based off of this, our office automation actually will create tasks from the manager. It's going to set them into that 5-day sales process. So it's going to create a task from the manager, letting them know that, hey, this client requested a quote on mulch. Please get them a quote within 5 days. At the same time, it's going to text the client and say, hey, thank you for requesting a mulch quote. We'll get back to you in 5 days. So it keeps everything in sync. It's going to keep reminding the manager, quote due in 3 days, quote due tomorrow. And you'll see that here. And as soon as that quote is sent or the to-do is closed, it's going to stop that process. So again, that gives us enough time to kind of prepare this. We figured that 5 days, it's 5 business days, so Monday through Friday. We figured that was a reasonable amount of time for both the client to wait for a quote and for even during the busiest times of the year for us to get that quote to them. So ideally, the faster we send it, the better. But even so, it's making sure that line of communication is kept between our clients, making sure they know exactly what's going on. This next email here, this is a follow-up email. So this is just estimate follow-up. But if you're not using, I know they even have a free one in the marketplace. These estimate follow-ups are very, very powerful. If you just send your estimate and forget it, you're going to lose so much work. And it's so much work to follow up on these. So if you can automate this, it's very simple. Build it yourself. It's awesome. It really makes sure that you get an answer. You want to make sure you get a yes or no either way on the proposal. You want to keep following up with these people. They ask for a quote. The least they can do is tell you yes or no. So this will keep following up with them. Keep sending a link to their proposal. Here was the estimate that was actually sent. Here's some marketing email. Last proposal sent. Here's a final reminder on a follow-up. Here's another mulch email. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Sorry, I lost where I was. All right, so this here is a text message, this icon. So you can see that process I was just explaining. This is confirming after they click that link, because I was in my account, I clicked that I do want the quote on this mulch service. So it's going to let them know we've processed your request and we're going to be in touch in the next 5 days. This is the to-do that goes to the manager that lets them know that the client has requested a quote on mulch. Send a quote or touch base with the client within 5 days. Here's a follow-up. This is our estimate follow-up, etc. So these are mostly just estimate follow-up ones in my account. So the next thing I'm going to go through is our actual message center. And I already blocked this out, so to make sure I don't want to reveal too much information. Good. Okay. So I'm not going to open these messages because I don't want my office admin to think they were already read. So I'm going to jump down to here. And I'm going to walk through. This is our actual text messages. Again, if you guys aren't using the message center within Service Autopilot, then I would highly recommend it. It works really well, and when you start building automations with it, people are much more likely to respond to a text message than an email. But you also have to be careful what you send, because you don't want to abuse that, because it really gets their attention. If you're sending everything to them, A, they're going to get pissed and annoyed, and B, they're just going to start ignoring you or block your number. So you only want to send stuff that's going to be handy, that they're going to want to respond to actively and be on top of, that's important. Like, you're coming out that day, a dispatch notification, we're coming to mow your lawn for the first time. They're going to want to know stuff like that. So anything in here with a question mark, these are all automations. Anything with a picture is sent from an employee. So these are part of our office automation. So the service that you approved on your proposal were added to your account. So, and we'll let you know when the service is dispatched. People like to know that stuff. It's making sure you're communicating, and nothing has to be done on your end. This all happens automatically again. So it's really awesome, really forces this communication to happen, because as soon as the office administrator adds this job, adds the service to the account, it's going to let the client know that that was scheduled. They're kept in touch without really having to put in any effort, and they love the communication. This is an example again. This client had clicked that they wanted a quote on the mulch, so it wrote back to them, let them know that we got your quote. It let them know that the cleanup was scheduled, so the manager went in and he dispatched this cleanup service, and it let the client know that this was scheduled, and it also gives them a chance to reschedule. So what we do is we put in a generic date. It's not generic, but we say week of. What this does is it gives us flexibility. If you say we're coming tomorrow, if something changes, your job goes over budget, you don't get to it, you don't have to update them every single day. By giving week of, it gives us a little bit of flexibility, so we can come anytime that week without having to update them on the schedule again. This one, the spring cleanup one, this is through the text message automation. They can just respond yes, and it will do the same thing. This is going to add them a quote, add a tag to them that says quote detached, and it's going to put them in that sales process. A lot of people like this, and a lot of people do add on the detached, their spring cleanup. The client responded to this. They wanted to cancel some of the stuff, coronavirus stuff we have going on. Unfortunately, that is affecting our business in some ways, as I'm sure it is for everyone. He had another service, so I'll jump past that. So that was, this is just one client example. I'll jump through one other one. Just to keep this from dragging on too long. Here's an estimate follow-up right here. Or here's a card expiring. So this client's card is expiring. It automatically is telling them to call to update their card. So this is all automated. We didn't have to go in and check to see if the card was expiring. Down here, just calling to follow up on my call. So what this is we have a voicemail bomb that goes out that follows up on the proposal as part of the estimate follow-up process, and then it waits. I think it's a day, and then it's going to text them following up again. So it's following up on the call, quote unquote, but it's really a voicemail bomb through SendJim, which again I'm going to jump through that in a minute if you guys aren't familiar with SendJim. So here we go. She finally said no, she's not going to do it, and then the quote will be marked as lost. And also another thing on our estimate follow-up is when a quote was marked as lost, then we send an email saying if the price was a problem, please let us know. We can adjust the scope of work. So it's kind of like even when we mark the proposal as lost, we still pursue them a bit just to give them one last opportunity to buy from us. And once they're in that, again, they're always on the marketing. So when you bring in a lead, even if they don't book that initial quote with our marketing automation, we're marketing to them. They're now in our system. We got them right where we want them, and we're going to market to them all throughout the year, and they're going to buy something eventually, chances are. So keeping in touch and continuing to market to your leads is definitely essential. Let's see. I'm just going to go through. I don't want to miss. There's a lot of stuff in here, and obviously everyone's with different automations, but I just want to give you an idea of exactly how this stuff works. Dave, just looking at your message, we haven't had I haven't heard anything about people trying to call our text number. In all of our emails, we specifically mention that it's a text phone number. So we haven't really had much of an issue with that because we make it clear that it's a text message only. Moving on, so this guy, Jimmy, here's an example of our new lead intake. So thank you for an estimate request. As soon as someone requests an estimate on our website, so again, another thing a lot of people don't use that you really should be using is a lead intake form on your website. So with the new forms especially, it's pretty easy to do. In the marketplace, we have a free download to download that form. But what this will do, as soon as someone goes to your website and they type in their information, name, phone number, address, it's going to enter them as a lead in your system and text them and send them in this 5-day expectation process. So this client here, they came in, brand new lead. Thank you for your estimate request. We've processed your request from an estimate system. We'll be in touch in the next 5 days. Again, we hadn't sent the quote yet, so it said we'd be in touch in 3 days, and then the quote was finally emailed that same day after 3 days and said your quote has been emailed, please check your inbox. So again, that tight line of communication with the client, and there's stuff in here that you're not seeing, but there were a lot of administrative tasks. The administrator sent in a letter to them. We actually do actual cards. She actually writes cards. It's something I don't automate, handwritten cards. So she'll get a task to write the card. She'll get a task to measure the square footage on the property and save it in the account. So she's basically processing this account as it comes in. There's all tasks associated with that. So this guy accepted the quote after he got the email, and then we let him know we need your card on file. Please check your email to add your card online through the link, or give us a call here to add your card over the phone. So just to kind of reflect on what Dave said, we do give the phone number here because we don't want them to be texting trying to call the text number. So I'm going to brush past that from the text messages, and I'm going to go to the to-do list. I'm going to pause sharing my screen for 1 second. I want to make sure I'm not revealing anything too private on the to-do list. All right, so here's our to-do list. These are the text messages that are created through, or excuse me, these are the to-dos that are created through the automations, through our Ready Business System automations. So this guy accepted his proposal, and this is creating a task for our office administrator to schedule the work. It's only telling her to schedule the work because it already checked to make sure she has a credit card on file. If she doesn't have a credit card on file, it's going to tell her, it would have already automatically pursued that person to get the credit card. If for whatever reason they're not doing it, it's going to create a task for her to call them and get the credit card. So we're first going to see if we can automatically get the credit card online, because it's going to be more efficient and save time. If we can't do that, again, it's going to ask her to get the credit card. But in this case, he already has a credit card, so just telling her to schedule the work on his account. And again, once she does schedule the work, it's going to let that guy know we've added the services to your account. This one is kind of one we just use internally, price increase automation. I may release this eventually, but this is just every year on the client's anniversary date, we make sure everyone's prices are in line, making sure we're getting what we need to on each service. This one here, this is one of our hiring termination automations. So this applicant was disqualified. So based on, this could be for one of several reasons. So on the job application form, which I'm going to show you, if he answered the wrong, if he didn't answer a question the way we want, it's going to automatically disqualify him, excuse me, and it's going to save everyone's time. Once he's disqualified, it's going to email him saying, thank you for applying. We decided to hire someone else for the position. And it's going to create this task for the office administrator to close out this lead, because we don't want to spend money mailing him postcards. We don't market to him. We already know that he's disqualified. So that's what this is about. Also, if he calls in for the phone interview and he answers the wrong questions, then he's disqualified. Or if he doesn't call in for the phone interview, he's disqualified. So we have all these hoops that they have to jump through. They're all automatic, filtering these people out. First of all of our ads are all over the internet. They're on Craigslist, Indeed, all different online places, and they're all funneling them back to Service Autopilot. So it specifically says, do not apply through Indeed, for example. Do not reply to this Craigslist ad, apply through this link. So the holes these guys have to jump through, these job applicants, before we waste any energy on them, is they have to go to the ad, they have to click the link. I mean, it's not brain science, but you're going to filter out 50% of applicants just based on that. You're going to click the link to apply through the website. And when they apply through the website, they have to answer the right questions. They then have to call for the phone interview. They then have to show up for the in-person interview. It's making them jump through a lot of holes, do a lot of work to get a job, just to get an interview with us. So before we spend any time on them, we're going to make sure we already made them jump through a bunch of hoops to make sure they actually want this job. They're not just clicking apply now and Indeed and just wasting our time. Moving on. This is our training automation, again, not on the marketplace yet, but this one is for these will go throughout the year, and we use Google Drive documents with some training handouts. These go out throughout the year. This one, phone interview form, this goes out, again, job applicant. So before he's already gotten a message to come in for an in-person interview, and this is just letting the administrator know that she should print out the phone interview form, the job application, give it to him so he has something to look over during the in-person interview. Okay, And here's an example. So this guy was instructed to show up for an in-person interview at 5 p.m. this Friday. So would you like to hire him? All he has to do is click here as part of our hiring termination automation. So if the manager does an in-person interview, if he likes the guy, he's going to click here. It's going to hire him. This is going to create all sorts of tasks, emailing the employee with a welcome packet, letting them know what they have to do to sign up. It's going to create tasks for the administrator to set them up in our payroll system, to set them as a Service Autopilot user, making sure we don't miss anything, because I'm sure you guys have been there. If you're not using this stuff, you have checklists for hiring people. This makes sure these checklists are followed. So when these people, if he has the in-person interview with this guy, wants to hire him, all he has to do is click here. The guy's going to, everything else can be automated. The guy's going to show up. We're going to have all his paperwork ready. We're going to do his Service Autopilot training, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This to do. Phone call follow-up. So again, it's telling her to follow up on this proposal. This person didn't respond to her text messages, emails, voicemail bombs. So she's going to actually call and see if she can get in touch with this person to follow up. This is part of the 5-day estimate process. And this is for me. I created them for myself. I want to know if he's not setting these estimates on time. And we made it very easy for him. So after 5 days, it's just letting him know, and this goes out via text message as well. I should have actually showed you that on the text messages. But he gets notified by text messages all the time. Proposal is accepted, quote due tomorrow for Joe Schmo, et cetera, et cetera. He gets constant text message updates, letting him know what's going on within the company. But this part here, so if he can't get this quote in 5 days, all he has to do is go over here and click this link, and that's going to let the customer know, hey, I'm really, really busy. I'm really sorry. We're going to get it to you as soon as we can. I'll be in touch. So I'm trying to get him to get in the habit of clicking these links, because that's going to keep that expectation. Because if you say you're coming, you have that quote in 5 days, and they don't, and you don't provide, it doesn't look that great. So we try to avoid getting to this point. But worst case, we got to at least let them know why we haven't gotten back to them yet. This one here, new leads. So this is what we get for when new leads come into the system. Center touch base with the client within 5 days. It's going to tell them we want lawn mowing, anything they selected on the form on the website, and he can quickly send these messages out. If he wants to schedule an estimate, this will send an email to the client letting him know, hey, I want to schedule an estimate with you. This one is going to schedule an estimate. This is kind of to push people off if they're out of the area. It's going to be a $50 deposit for an estimate. So this is, to make sure people are serious. Schedule estimate, no fee is like they're in a really hot area. I'm going to be there anyway, et cetera. So this will schedule an estimate with the client. So that's the to-do list. This here is our job application form. So again, this is one we make them jump into to apply for a job. All these questions here are questions to qualify the lead. So when they come in here, if they don't answer what we want them to on here, it's going to disqualify them. Also, it's going to, during the hiring termination automation, it's going to ask for their references. It's going to create a to-do for the office administrator. It's going to list their information right there. Here's the references, call them. It's going to put their shirt size. We asked for it right in the application. So, somewhere in here, there's a shirt size. So if so right when we hire them, we already know their shirt size. We can have it ready for them. So that's our job application form. All right, so here we have, one second. So this is a job applicant. I think we already went through a lot of this, but yeah, we went through this in another section. So this is just one of our job applicants showing the to-dos and text messages and emails that have happened with this guy. So now I'm going to jump into SendJim. So SendJim, if you guys aren't aware, it's an integration with Service Autopilot, and Service Autopilot will handle your text messaging, your emails, and your to-dos. SendJim will handle physical postcards. It will do the voicemail bombs, which are automated voicemails you can send to your clients. It'll also send GIFs. So it kind of fills in Service Autopilot for the marketing tactics you can't use, the communication you can't use when Service Autopilot integrates. So really, really cool system. I would highly recommend it. We have here these are the SendGIMs we use in our automation. So I'm going to brush through those, and I'm going to show you them actually going out. So RBSO1, this is our estimate follow-up. These are our voicemail bombs. So it's really amazing how much you can replicate yourself with these. You record one voicemail and it goes out forever and ever and ever. So, you know, if you just want to check in with a client, see how things are going, you record that once. These people get these voicemails in like July, you completely forgot about it, and you're going to call your client and be like, hey, just calling to touch base, see how things are going, haven't talked in a while. Let us know if you need anything. It comes across as really thoughtful, and it's just awesome because you do it once, it just happens. You replicate yourself, and it's very inexpensive. So this is the one I was just talking about. So this is our customer service automation. So we have these are just thinking of you voicemail. We have a spring check-in. Our best clients, we send a gift in July. We send cards to everyone in October. We have these gummy bears that we send out with a card of people, like, again, if they give us a bad review on a service once a year, up to once a year, it'll mail them this apology card and a gift to apologize for the poor work. If they write us an online review, it's going to send them a gift card. And if they give us a referral, it sends them a gift card. So that's what those are about. This is our office automation. So this is recorded by a manager welcoming a new client on board when they're converted. We also have these new lead letters, which will go out introducing our company, thanking them for hiring us. So kind of the same idea. These handwritten cards, these are actually, and this is a new feature by SendGIM, but these will actually it's actually a machine that holds a pen and writes on a card. So it's nothing like the other ones you get in the mail that's clearly like a printed letter meant to look like handwriting. This is actually like handwriting, but it's written by a machine. So really cool stuff. Here, this is our marketing automation. So like I was talking about earlier, if you guys were here, everyone who's been here from the beginning of this webinar, these are our postcards that go out throughout the year. So, and our voicemail bomb. So this is a big one. So these postcards, they're not only going to go out. So this one, for example, is our spring cleanup. It's not only going to go out for, it goes out to all of our clients and leads, new homeowners, realtors during the spring through April 15th. It'll go out to all of them, anyone who doesn't have that service. And keep in mind, first, this is the marketing automation. First, it's going to email them and leave them voicemail bombs, do all the cheaper approaches before it actually sends a postcard. And then, so if they book based on email a week earlier, they're not going to get another postcard. So we try to get people to book these, to send these postcards. And additionally, on top of that, whenever we complete a job, it's going to go out to 5 neighbors. So when we complete a spring cleanup, it's going to mail us a postcard to all the neighbors. So really, really cool stuff, really helps build your density. And we have all these templates. If you decide to buy our marketing automation, we will build these for you. We'll have custom postcards with these promotions and however you'd like that. Voicemail bombs, etc. This is our recruiting automation. So again, all the leads coming in your system, you know they've been pre-filtered. You know that they're good applicants, they're who you want to hire. If they currently have a job, they took a different job, we're going to stay on top of them. We're going to market to them every year, all the time, try to get them to work with us. So that's what this is about. I'm going to pause the screen sharing for 1 second. Because I block out something else.
What happens if they answer the phone?
They can't. It rings the phone once, and then it leaves the voicemail. So it happens so quickly, they can't answer the phone. All right. So I am logged into the reports of my SendGIM account, so you can see this stuff actually going out. So I log in here maybe once a week just to keep an eye and make sure everything's going as it should be. But it's really cool, like once all this stuff is set up. So these postcards, as you can see, number recipients. So these are the ones that are going out to neighbors. So I can open this up and show you because it's public information, it's addresses. But this is a spring cleanup postcard. So if I open this, you can see this spring cleanup postcard went out It went out to these addresses because we did one of their neighbors. So just really cool stuff, builds your density, and you don't have to do anything. So if the job's completed between these dates, it's going to send out a spring cleanup postcard. Again, those 6 different periods throughout the year. If we want to send it out, during the mowing season of the year, we don't have to do anything. It's automatically going to market the mowing service to all of our clients, leads, new homeowners, realtors, and neighbors. So only during certain times of the year, it's going to market that service. And when fall cleanups are completed in the fall, it's going to mail a fall cleanup postcard. Here's a new client, mailed them a welcome letter. Voicemail bomb. This is the one that went out to a new client. So obviously our manager's running around like a madman. He's not going to have time to call these people, but they don't know the difference. They're going to get a voicemail bomb, welcome on board. They're going to know if they need anything. Here's my number, et cetera, et cetera. More postcards, spring cleanup voicemail. So a lot of these went out because these go out to all of our clients, these spring cleanup voicemails. So this is just letting people know that we have a spring cleanup available with a $50 promotion. And again, it's going to email them before we spend the money to do these. These only cost about 35 cents each to send out these voicemail bombs. Let's see, so a lot of these went out. Changes page size. Just trying to show you guys some other examples. We obviously have a lot of stuff going out here. These are again postcards going out. What was that?
Did you say voicemail bombs are 35 cents each?
Roughly, yeah. It depends on, you can get at certain times of the year they have promotions on credits. They do everything with credit. So I believe it's 69.5 cents per credit. So voicemail bombs are a half a credit. Postcards are 1 credit depending on the size. So they have their own kind of currency within, and you can see it here, total number of credits. But 69.5 cents each. Sometimes they have promotions where you can get them 10% off. So these are the estimate follow-up voicemail bombs going out, handwritten cards. Anyway, you get the idea. Really cool stuff. SendJim integrates. We have it all built into our automations. So I'll take questions now if you guys have any. Let me get rid of this. And I hope that was valuable for you. I wanted to give you an idea of how these things work. Another thing to note is if you guys don't have automations yet, through our relationship with Service Autopilot, we can get that waived. It's usually like $999 to get set up. We can get it waived if you sign up through us. We also are waiving our setup fees where we have everything just down to a monthly fee. So if you want any of these automations, the prices are here depending on their complexity. And the SendJim is additional because we got to set up the custom postcards. It's something else we have to monitor. But we're going to make sure these are running. We'll be your contact. If you need any changes, any updates, just let us know. Any questions, but you'll just go to us. We'll be your go-to for your automations. Or obviously feel free to take our ideas. More than happy to share them. We do have these termination fees. You're not going to need them, but we just need to know that people will, because we're putting a lot of upfront work to get these set up. We're spending hours and hours to build these in your account. So by waiving the large, we used to have large setup fees, like $1,000 or $2,000 because we spent a lot of time setting these things up in the beginning. We're getting rid of that, but just to protect us, we do a termination fee. Once you have these, we've never had anyone actually do that because once you have this running, you see the value in your account, you're not going to want to cancel it. But we do have that just in case, but we've never had an issue with it. Once you have it running, you're not going to want to stop. So any questions, I can take them now. Anything else you guys want to see, I can try to show you, as long as I'm not getting into too personal information in my client's account. So let me know if you have any questions. Or feel free to shoot an email if you don't want to say I'm here. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I will email out a copy of this webinar so you have it, or anyone who wasn't able to attend live, I'll send that to you as well. So if there's no questions, I'm going to end the webinar.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Take care.